All right, so this is my deck list. I went undefeated at 3 tournaments. I played against a lot of rogue because it was locals. But I'm still happy with the performance. Again, I played against, funny enough, a Fiendsmith Ubel, a Salamangrate, a Mirror Match, so Fire King, Pure Fire Kings, one Gimmick Puppet, and a couple other rogue stuff, Goaty, Runic. So not the most super meta, but a lot of the same meta hand traps, some Rizal, one Malice. This did okay. This did pretty good. It was mostly the side deck that does good against Malice. So yeah, let's get into it. We have 3 Garunics. All right, pretty standard. Pretty standard. You then have 3 Ponics. Again, pretty standard so far. My list varies in a little bit. We got 3 Kieran. These cards are so good. I really love this deck. You know, Dinkabooey, curse you for making Ulcanix $20, but this deck is super cheap and it's a lot of fun, so I really recommend it. Arvada and Barong, hear me out. I would still keep Barong. I would bump this to 2. There are some cards in here that you're about to see that I would bump this to 2. All right. And those cards are Hazy Flames. 2 Periton, 1 Cerberus. I would do, honestly, 3 Cerberus and 1 Periton. Because this is the Searcher that isn't once per turn when it's destroyed. So it's really funny. It just adds fires to your hand. Now, you want to replace these. You don't want to keep these. All right. 1 Ulcanix. Ulcanix is $20. I need to trade for the other 2 soon. But obviously you take out these 2 for Ulcanix, take out this for 1 more Arvada, and take out this for the high avatar Garunix that this summons. So I'm still building the deck, and even with this scuffed, even with it being somewhat scuffed, it still performs amazingly because it just plays around so many hand traps. Like it's crazy. It plays, depending on the hand, it plays around Droll. You know, depending on the hand, even if you get hit with Droll, you still have enough interruptions that you can go to the next turn. It's so much fun. It plays around almost all the Charmies, depending on how you want to play the deck. You know, it plays around so much. It's why I love this deck, is you can kind of play around all the hand traps and not have to worry, right? 1 island, obviously. I mean, maybe you could do 2 islands, but I think 1 island is fine. 2 Skyburn, because again, you don't want to like brick on it. And then 2 Sanctuary. I think this is proper ratios. I think this is proper ratios, but I'm not too sure. I would say so. 2 Skyburn, 2 Sanctuary, 1 island. If island gets removed, you're kind of in a bad spot, but oh well. 1 called by, you know, pretty standard there. And then 2 Extrav, 1 Prosp. You'll see the extra deck. The extra deck needs to be a bit more fine-tuned for the Extrav. But other than that, I like this a lot. I like these a lot. You can start with Extrav. If it gets ashed, because it never resolved, you can Prosp right after. You do lose a lot of the extra deck, but that's the fun part about this, is this can kind of play without the extra deck. It has a lot of recursion. It does lose gas relatively quickly, but that's the main issue, is once you go through your Arvadas, your Kirans, which is why I think you want to bump up Arvada to 2. That way you have a bit more gas. But yeah, pretty good draw power, honestly. So this next part is kind of just the hand traps you want to run, right? It's custom to however many hand traps, whatever hand traps you have access to. I don't have access to the Charmies, so you'd probably want to play some of those. These are the cheap hand traps, and they still do me super well. 2 Ash, because it works really well with fires. This should be at 3. I genuinely don't know what happened to my third one. I know I play 3. So this is at 3. 3 Ash, because again, it also helps with your fires. You can use it off of island and still get Garunic's effect. 3 Imperm, because it isn't, you know, thrustable or talanced, which is really nice. You know, you don't get hit with those after using an Imperm, which is really good. And then again, the super basic stuff. I feel like those 6 are useful hand traps you're going to have no matter what. These are kind of the more custom ones. 3 Veiler. 3 Ogre, because we have a lot of blue eyes. And 3 Nib, because, you know, always count to 5. But yeah, that's it for the main deck. Again, I feel like these hand traps you can alternate with Mourners maybe, or, you know, Drolls, maybe even main decking Lancia, depending on your local meta. So because we play Extrav, we want to run all the important ones at 3. So 3 of this. You want to run 3 of this. I just don't have a third right now. 3 Hida, sorry. You'll then want to run 3 Princess. I only have 2. Funny enough, in the rarity boxes I bought, I only pulled 2. So yeah, that's fun. 2 of those. 1 Cowboy, because I'm built different. We only have 2 level 4s, but trust me, I'll see it. Realistically, take this out for your 3rd Hida, your 3rd Princess, whatever you want to take it out for. 1 Ambla Whale. This could be at 2. 1 Chimera. 1 Almirage. 1 Raging Phoenix. 1 IP. And 2 SP. Again, you could change these out a little bit. Best case, you for sure want 3 of Hida, 3 Princess, 3 of the XZ, or at least 3 Princess, 3 of the XZ. So, I mean, again, I'm not the best with ratios. This one I don't use very often. This one you could probably take out for another Hida. Almirage is useful because if I draw into a Veiler, or in my side deck, if I draw into a Droll, I can link it off and crash it. It has come up quite a bit, so I don't know if I would ever want to take it out. You might even want to play this at more. This one is probably more of just a win more card. Same with this one, but if you really go all out in the link, like on your first turn linking away and you know they don't have Nib, or you're not afraid of it, I do like this. So, I mean, I would probably cut this and maybe this, and then add an additional Almirage and Ambla Whale. Raging Phoenix is pretty niche. I had it come up one time where I needed to beat, a, what is it? A Dragoon, that's it. I'm going to have to cut to this. It took me way too long. A Red Eyes Dragoon. Because it negated one thing and it was already up to 4,000. And I just couldn't get Garunic's high enough. So I needed to go into the whole line of linking this off, crashing, barely surviving, Phoenix effect summon, then Garunic's effect, chain block, all that fun stuff. And then, yeah, and then I was able to crash over it. Very niche. There's not many things that are going to be towers that you need to just beat over. I guess Dragon Rulers, you know, has a towers that if it gets built is 46, which is pretty big. But again, you run so many hand traps that you normally try to stop the towers at that point. Funny enough, there's only so many things you can do to stop a Dragoon when they just do the old school Dark Magician deck, you know? But yeah, as for the side deck, I mean, it's really custom. Again, that's why I love this. All right, as for the side deck, it's really, really custom. As you can see, this is what I normally run. It's kind of dissected right now because of all the different decks. 3 Droll, 3 Thrust. I like Thrust because, again, so many people are using hand traps at some point. If not, you know, Charmies or Lancia, you know, during the standby. I like Thrust. So 3 Thrust. You can run 1 Talents if you want for the Thrust. I'm not running it. I like Sanctum. It's a funny card. You know, it gets you to your Lancia, which is awesome. I really don't like the Malice deck, which is why I have a lot of Malice hate. Deep Barrier for Thrust again. Lightning Storm for, you know, if you're going second. And then the money card, 3 Lancia. And then the one card I just can't live without in the modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Spooky Dogwood. It's gotten me a lot of wins because, you know, especially with Fire Kings, games can go pretty long sometimes. You know, you don't combo off very long, even when you get your full board if you want it. But other people trying to break your board or just like a combo deck. I mean, Spooky is just what you need. And so against Gimmick Puppets, I dropped this when they activated ye old Rugdoll in hand, and that pretty much won me the game because you can't deal enough damage from Spooky compared to what you like summon. So yeah, that is the side deck that I like to do. You can obviously alternate this. I mean, the ones that I think are almost mandatory are Lancia and Droll. Lancia, Droll. I like Thrust because, again, it gets you to Deep Barrier and Sanctum. Sanctum just gets you to Lancia, and Deep Barrier is for Ryzeal or anything else. I mean, you could call freaking Ritual. So, yeah. With that, though, you know, I won 3 events, going 3-0, 4-0, and 3-0. So, pretty good. Yeah, you guys have a great day. Hope you guys enjoyed.